All right, Gino Torretta is on the video link here. Not only a Heisman Trophy winner, but his number has been retired by the University of Miami football program, and I can say that confidently because I was there and I witnessed it.
You know what? It can't be confirmed because I told you to come into the box, what box it was, and you still didn't come by and say hello and at least have a beer with me.
I just wanted to make sure you enjoyed your day without me glowing on.
Come on,
Gino Torretta, Hurricanes legend, a legit Hurricanes legend. So I do want to talk about a bunch of stuff, but I want to start with the Super Bowl because this is the Super Bowl week. Yep. Without the line, forget about the line, which KC is a very slight underdog. Who do you think wins on Sunday, Kansas City or San Francisco?
You know, I would say this. Like, I saw, I think, a full KC game in the middle of the year, and I was like, man, they were struggling at the time. I'm like, man, they're not good. They're not in the right place. And I'm going to tell you, since like the last few games of the season, their defense looks like a totally different team. You still got 15 under center. He looks pretty darn amazing, if you will. And they just seem like they're playing the best football of anybody in the world right now. That's just my opinion. And I don't bet, and I darn sure wouldn't bet against Mahomes.
That's that. I've already put in my bet on Kansas City. Like I'm at that point where it's like, man, he's playing better right now than he has been. But also, I'm not betting against him until he proves to me that there's a reason to bet against him. Dude went through Buffalo and Baltimore on the road to get to the Super Bowl. I'm not betting against this guy.
Well, and listen, the offense was great, but the difference against Baltimore, Buffalo, it was their defense. I mean, Jones, a big defensive tackle. I mean, he's one of the best in the league for a reason. I mean, these guys are just absolutely balling out defensively. And, you know, I will go back, I think, in the NFC Championship game, and I wanted to call you because I totally disagreed, and I think I texted you. So at the end of the first half, the Lions were up 2 touchdowns. They had the ball, and Campbell goes for it on 4th down. And it was a time crunch. Not only was it a time crunch, but it was 4th down. He didn't take 3 points. And you agreed with, all right, I get it. Here's my take. You go up and kick a field goal. You go up by 17, totally different deal. And then at the end of the game, they needed 2 scores. They score the first time, and you're like, they did it right. And I remember, we got receipts. We can pull them out. I'm sure, Solana, where you said, yeah, that was the right move to go for 2 on the first touchdown. But that is totally wrong. And here's what I'll tell you is totally wrong. If you score twice, you tie the game, right? If you go for 2 on the first score and you don't get it, the defense is playing with house money. Because not only do you have to score a touchdown, you have to get an extra point, which is a less than 50-50 chance. So why wouldn't you just kick the extra point and put it up to the last play of the game if you score to win? Because it still keeps the defense on the last drive, can still lose the game. On the last drive, when you fail on an extra point, you can't lose the game. All you can do is tie it and go into OT.
Right. You're getting 2 chances. If you go for 2 in both those situations,
you're screwed. You take the win out of the game. You take the loss for the Niners totally out of the game. And I totally disagreed with them going for 2. I disagree. I don't mind the second half, him going for it on 4th down in the second half. But when you got 3 seconds left and you're at like the 2 or 3, whatever they were, dude, kick the field goal. You go up by 3 scores? Come on.
You know, you see Patrick Mahomes and we say we're not betting against them. Brock Purdy on the other side, and a lot of people, I don't know if they know or not, but his dad, Sean Purdy, went to
Good dude. We ran the streets. He spent some time in the Grove with me, maybe at the tavern a time or 2.
He was a pitcher when we were there. My buddy Jim Frivola is still owed $50 from Sean Purdy for.
Does he need Purd's number?
He does.
So I did a couple Iowa State games, like Iowa State, Texas, when when Purdy was there, and I'd see his dad on the road. So So Frivola needs his number. Us guys with vowels
He
at the end of our
does,
names.
because
We can
Sean
put it.
Purdy lived with Rivola for a semester or a year, and he borrowed $50 from Jim, and he never paid him back. And now, son's
All
playing in
right,
the Super Bowl.
I'll text you Sean Purdy's number. You can forward to
All
Frivola,
right,
and we'll hunt him down for the
yeah,
50.
we'll get a finder's fee on this.
Hey, we should have got Super Bowl tickets. My brother called me. He goes, "Can you give me tickets?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, "They're like $12,000 to get in."
But you could get him around at the Masters. You can get him around at Augusta. We know that.
I've already got him into the Super Bowl. I'm not doing. That was the last time they were here and lost.
What do you think
to the
about
Chiefs.
Brock Purdy, though? Because Crowder, who's traveling today, it was Cam Newton said Brock Purdy's the 10th best player on the Niners. And I brought it up to Crowder, and Crowder's like, you know what? I can't disagree with it. That Niners team is so loaded. It doesn't take anything away from Brock Purdy. You played quarterback. You're a Heisman Trophy winner. Like, when you watch Mahomes, you watch Purdy, you watch the Niners team. Like, where is Brock Purdy in the pantheon of NFL quarterbacks?
First off, who cares? Like, if he's the 10th best player on the team, and I'm not saying he's not, because if we were playing backyard ball, I'm sure Bosa would get picked in front of him. Chase would get picked in front of him. Debo would probably be the first pick, or McCaffrey. Like, I get that. But you got a guy that lines up under center, and he makes all those dudes better, and he makes all those dudes believe. Because you can't tell me that team doesn't play better. When he started playing better, the whole team got in a rhythm. It doesn't really matter. I just hope he stays healthy. Obviously, he got the bad injury, with the arm a year ago. I hope he stays healthy and gets paid, because he's damn sure underpaid right now for what he's doing. And you know what? He balls out mentally. He's on top of that offense. And listen, a quarterback's job, and I used to say it, is my job is to get the ball in the hands of guys that are a lot better athletes than me and let them make plays. And he does just that. And I think him and Shanahan are a great team. And it's fun to watch. I could care less how high he's ranked as a player, but if we went out and started an NFL draft between their team, I'm fairly certain he wouldn't be the first guy you picked.
That's a good point. No, that's a good point. The suites on Sunday are going for more than what Brock Purdy made this season.
That is just crazy.
It's
absolutely crazy.
That's crazy, right?
The best is when McCaffrey gave everybody brand new sets of golf clubs and a few $1,000 a set. And he said, financially, I'm not in a position to buy those for the squad right now. And all I could think about is Marino just giving isotoner gloves. I'm like, man, hey, that was a lot better. Free gloves instead of like $50,000 of golf clubs to your offensive line.
Here's your gloves. Here's your isotoners. What are you doing for the Super Bowl? You going to a party? You watch it at home? What are you doing?
Personally, I don't like Super Bowl parties, because to me, I like watching the commercials more than the games. And I can't stand missing a commercial. So, they kind of throw that. They're always a bad time slot of like in the middle of when I should be making dinner, and stuff like that. So, I like watching it on my own. Fortunately, there are also mute buttons for television, because I don't know, man. I can't take the bloviating of the announcers during these playoff games.
Romo. I love Tony Romo, and I know it's sport right now to pick him apart. I love him and Nance together.
Wow. I will say this. I like Aikman the most. Like, Greg Olson is a ton of information.
Very good.
It's just too much. You get to the point where I've been bludgeoned with information, and I'm like, I don't even know what kind of point he's making, but just stop. They scored. Just be quiet. Just please. Dear Lord, be quiet for a couple of seconds. Let the game breathe.
I think it might be an age thing, Solana, with me and Gino. Gino and I are about the same age. We both want to watch the Super Bowl alone. I used to go to Super Bowl parties or throw one I want to watch the commercials.
Well, it sucks. You know what? When when your kid's younger and it's like you're at a party, you normally have to leave at halftime because the game's on so late. You're like, Christ, they got school. So then you got to go home. Well, then you miss the commercials, or you miss the halftime show. Yep. And that sucks. I mean, the best part about the game normally is not the game. It's usually a great commercial like the Bud Bowl when they started those, or the Clydesdales and their commercials. Yeah. I mean, it was like whoever Budweiser was paying for those commercials back in the day was underpaid too.
But isn't the best part about those commercials, the funny commercials, getting to experience them with like a room of people who are all locked in on it?
But they're not all locked in. That's the problem.
No, yeah, they're not all locked in.
Somebody thinks they're funnier than the commercials. Somebody, it's
like, then when they're not funny, you think your friend's a jerk because you're like, dude, that's funny. I don't even like you anymore. We don't have the same sense of humor. I'm sorry.
We don't have anything in common.
Yeah. Who are you? What's your name? I'm never going anywhere with you ever again. Yeah.
But I think Solana, it's as you get older, because when you're younger, like you want to be with people and you feel, it's the FOMO thing, fear of missing out. Like and now I get to Super Bowl Sunday, like I don't want to have to get dressed to go anywhere. I don't want to have to straighten up the house to invite people. Like I just want to sit on the couch, watch the game.
Exactly. We want to be in the hills of Montana. It's like the Unabomber. have just like high-speed internet.
Yeah.
High-speed internet and not be bothered.
Let me give you this. This is a little a quick little quiz to see what you prefer to Super Bowl party. Ready?
Yep.
Wings or tenders?
Tenders, less messy with the hands. And if I'm at somebody's house, I don't want to have to wipe my hands, and it's it's annoying.
No bones.
Yes.
Chips and salsa or chips and French onion dip?
Oh, got to go French onion dip. Very underrated dessert, or very underrated
Ruffles
snack.
And a French onion dip.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. The chip's got to be thick enough for the dip. I hate it when the chip busts off like 5 times, and you're like, okay, if the chips are bad, give me a spoon, and I'll just spoon the French onion dip into my mouth.
Got to be a thick, wavy chip.
Yes, something like that.
Bowl of popcorn on the table or bowl of M&Ms on the table?
Oh, M&Ms. Who puts a bowl of popcorn out? It's not a movie.
I think that's like a football thing. A
bowl of popcorn?
Yeah, sure.
It's terrible. They get stuck. They get stuck. We're old. They get stuck in your teeth, and then there's
I'm taking the M&Ms as well.
Then you need floss, all that stuff. No popcorn.
I've always said that they should provide floss at movie theaters. Like where the concession stand is. Like there should be just little samples of floss, because you spend half the movie on.
I'm gonna invent a seat with a water pick in it for you, so you can shoot the water pick.
Cans of beer or bottles of beer?
Gotta go bottle, but they're just awful trying to get rid of with the noise and the and your neighbors making judgments of how many bottles you're throwing in your recycle.
Pepperoni pizza, cheese pizza, or veggie pizza?
Of those three, pepperoni by far.
Right.
I'd go with everything, and it's like, if you don't like it, then take the stuff off you don't like. Get everything on it.
No, you can't do that on a pizza. What do you mean take it off? Like it's melted into the cheese.
Yeah, so I wouldn't, get everything. Get a Miami's best with everything.
No,
get it all.
Ruins it for everybody.
No, I take that back. No olives. Everything, no olives. Olives
anchovies?
Suck on olives. Suck. No, nobody put olives. Nobody put anchovies on pizza.
My wife does.
Ugh, it's terrible.
I know. I'm going to divorce her. I'm with you. You got room there in your place?
Hey, yeah, my daughter's in college. We got a spare room. Come down anytime.
Where you live over at Hecht still?
Mahoney Pearson. Mahoney Pearson. I'm in the RA suite.
Diet Coke or Coke Zero?
Neither.
Really interesting.
Neither.
Pretzels.
If I'm drinking Coke, I'm drinking Coke. I don't drink soda that often.
Coke Zero is the nectar of the gods.
No, I'm drinking Coke, or I like the cherry vanilla Coke.
That's good.
Or cherry Coke, but I'm not messing with the diet. Like just shoot the sugar into my veins. I'm not going with that fake stuff. And
pretzels or cheese and crackers?
What kind of cheese and crackers? Pretzels are, it depends on what pretzels too, because they get dry, and then you just got to keep drinking beer or something to wash them down.
Pretzel twist.
Snyder's, those big thick ones are awful. I mean,
not the big thick ones. They're the little one, the ones where you take a handful of little.
The butter Snyder's, those are good. Those are good. I like the flavor. Dip in a little cream cheese. A little cream cheese. Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
good.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have the Snyder's dipping sticks.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Put 'em right in the cream cheese.
I'll go with that. I'll go with that. But
Soft
Hawk,
Philadelphia.
this is all the crap that I generally don't eat or buy
Yeah.
because if
And-
I buy it, I eat it. But apparently, you have it in a great abundance in your pantry.
This is the only stuff I eat. That's it. I actually am staring at my pantry. The way I did this either or was just looking at things in my pantry.
So apparently you've never heard of stay away from sugar, stay away from processed
I've heard it all.
foods.
Listen, that's mainstream media, Gino. I mean, if you want to be a sheep and get fooled by the mainstream media, that's on you.
Science is undefeated, my friend.
Gino Torretta, the Heisman Trophy winner. Thanks, Gino.
All right.
There you go. You will not get a Super Bowl breakdown like that anywhere else.